Hello, friends. If you don't know me, I'm the Healing Visionary. My name is Colleen, and I'm here to talk about new timelines today as we're all experiencing this 5D reality and a lot of questions surrounding transformation, upheaval that we might be going through. Certain things are happening for so many of us, including me. I had a really big one. That's what I want to talk about and share what I've been doing to activate my new timeline. I have a feeling that there may be other people who would benefit from hearing this. I was working teaching art around the world for several years. Well, 20 years, and universities and art museums and mainly schools after that on the international circuit. So it was really good for a long time until I kept getting hit again and again, time and after place, with really mean bosses who would attack me. And it's never the students or I loved teaching art. Anyway, that's, I don't want to go into all the difficult story around that, but it was just, I was getting psychically and energetically attacked, yelled at, belittled from people I worked with, mainly bosses. And this kept happening over and over again, even in new countries and new jobs and in a new environment, until I realized that I didn't want to keep doing that, and that if I keep doing this, there were other issues also with keeping that 9-to-5 job, whatever it is. The ceiling cap for teachers is so low that I really didn't have the resources or potentials to reach my goals. So it also makes sense to the ego mind. It makes sense to change what you're doing if you're not liking the results. If especially once you reach a certain age, like I am approaching 50 in a couple months, and it's time, crunch time. How am I going to survive and keep going on my earth walk and aligned with my soul purpose? This is what is so important, is that we have that channel, that connection open, yet we defeat it by staying in these situations that keep us weighted down. A drag weight is what it is. And it keeps us stuck into an old timeline. And now this is really important as things are quickening up even more. You can hear all the popular people talking about this. And, those of us like myself who are very quiet, we work behind the scenes. I would do my one-on-one work with people and myself, and I just move to the beat of my own. And that is the 5D grid that is even visible now. I'm starting to see it. I see grids when I go into meditation or close my eyes, and it's definitely vibrant. It's very light. And I've been working with the plasma structures for a long time, and so this grid is also a plasma substance, like the quantum energy field. When I go to that place, and it's got rainbow waves, and until now I have been putting in my orders manifesting choices into those rainbow waves of energy and dropping them in like slides into my timeline. But now I left the job. I had also a massive curse removed from my life, which I'm writing a book about now. It was a horrible thing that had been hovering over me for the last 40 years from some elemental beings that I will talk about in another video. But imagine that. So after 40 years, And if anyone knows how to make iPods stay in our ears, please tell me. My theory is that I didn't grow up with this shaped earbud, and so earbud, I mean. So my ears did not grow in the shape of it, and they constantly fall out. Anyway, back to new timelines. So having that massive 40 years of hell torture and like planting seeds, but no, they never really sprouted. You know, seeds of intention, seeds of desire, never really sprouted, while all my colleagues who were doing the same innovative and highly spiritual practices are all living beautiful lives at this point. And I knew there was something wrong. So I kept seeking and seeking for the help, and then my guides led me to ultimately the place where the eldest shaman was able to see it and remove it. He was able to see what happened. And I was 8 years old. So this is puts me definitely on a new track. And shortly after that, when I returned to my job, that's when everything started to, well, it kept going the same way that it always did. And I stood up and said, no, I'm not going to work for such people, and I'm not going to stay in this situation. You know, we all know we have a larger mission. Many of you know what that is, especially if you've ever done the Atlantean Soul Purpose System, which I read for that oracle. It's absolutely wonderful system, channeled from Atlantean times by Frank Elper, who's a Moses channeler. I'll put a link to how to book a reading for that if you are interested. But it's very clear, and it always makes sense to people when they hear it. It's like a validation. Oh yeah, these are my gifts and talents. These are my karmic challenges. This is what I'm working through in this lifetime. So anyway, I'm on a new timeline, and if you have any evidence like that, if you suddenly start standing up for yourself, your worthiness is coming online, and you are finding yourself in brand new situations, this is also indicative of the new timeline that you are on. And so we want to really go fast on the timeline. The speed is quickening, and like a galloping horse, we want all of the seeds that we plant. But the way to go about doing this is in tiny timelines, very short, just for today kind of things, or for the week. Just a couple of intentions planted in your timeline to show that it's going to work. Because if you plant stuff, that intentions and seeds that are great, but you don't know if they're going to be working 10 years down the road in your life. So the important thing to remember here is tiny timelines, just a couple of them every day, every couple days, or a couple for the week. Today I put in 3 for this week, and when you see them happening, you will get the validation and the support. So I'm hearing people talk about there's a lot of 5D support right now. So what are we going to do? If you're like me, you're older, first or second wave, volunteer, and we're here, we're on our mission, but it hasn't really come to full fruition yet, and you're still working with that beautiful mission. We're still doing our work, our light work. Here's the thing. Because the grid is plasma, and when you put stuff into it, anytime you have another bad incident with someone, or some negative thinking, or you behave badly and don't react the way you really want to in a situation, that's gonna retract from the grid all that you put in it. So be careful. In order to keep this momentum going and have it stick and stay in there, that's another case for using tiny timelines, because as we make these small incremental adjustments in our highest potentials week by week, you will be in an entirely new paradigm. So here it is. These are plasma circles. This is my old note, and I just keep writing all over it different stuff, but you see these wheels with the ruffly edge, so they are plasma circles. And these, you can put your intentions and they will go out into the ethers, into the grid. So what I've done is an entirely new way. I made up paper circles with plasma borders, because, you know, part of what is missing from some other systems, problem with law of attraction, is it's missing the visual. And I'm an artist. I'm always working with my hands, so it makes sense to me. And that's the way you reach the subconscious anyway, is through imagery and putting these when you know something about yourself, like, I know that I'm worthy of all the good stuff. That reaches the subconscious, and pictures. So by physically making something, then you put your intentions. I did make a list. I have a notebook with all my thinking, and I select the best and I rework it so that the terminology is very clear. It's like putting in the order at the restaurant. You've heard that a million times. What kind of food do you want? Would you like to eat Italian? No, I don't want that. I'm not going to have any pasta. Gluten-free. Okay, so the next question is, what do you want? What do you want to eat? You have to be very clear. I want to eat Greek food. I want Mediterranean. I want stuffed squash blossom flowers. That's my favorite one. So what is it? And then I put them, I select all of my stuff and I put it on this timeline into the plasma circles, and then I'm going to put it somewhere where I'm going to see it every day and activate them during my morning practice, during the morning routines and meditation, and anytime throughout the day. Remember this, try it, practice it, and apply it, because the way I heard it was actually Pam Gregory, the astrologer. She was being interviewed, and I heard her say in such a way that just clicked with me, and I thought, oh my God, we can't just keep practicing. We have got to get this right, because she said there's like 2 trains. Right now you can see both trains, the 3D and the 5D train, and everybody, if you're still on that 3D train, and the 5D train eventually is going to take off and you won't even see it anymore. It won't. How are you going to reach it if you end up getting stuck in this 3D? So here's another way that you can really, really, really activate, get on a new timeline, into your new paradigm, and keep these choices activating and emerging in your life. And so that if you do it in small steps, 10 years down the line, you will be in an entirely new paradigm, and it won't even take that long. This time is quickening up so fast.
To whenever there is a dimensional problem anywhere, then Melchizedek goes in and says, okay, guys, here's what you do, and we help. And that's what's going on here now. We're about to go through a tremendous dimensional change. And so Melchizedek consciousness is back on this earth, helping to find ways to get every last single person through to the next level of existence. And there has never, ever been a time when we haven't found a way.
And stay posted. I will try to keep posting on my progress. I'm, let's see, maybe 1 month into being in my freedom, in a place where I'm able to design my own life. I'm able to work on my own terms with my own businesses and live the days how I want. And I love this. This is the best, and I wish I would have done it a lot sooner. But in that old paradigm, we were just dragged down so heavily. I really thought it was too risky to leave your job. That's something you don't do unless you have another job lined up or another way of living. And then people say, okay, but wait until you see that you have the income and then you can leave your job. Well, for me, there was no time for that. It was called for immediately. So I hope that you find this interesting and think plasma. Okay, it's paper, but when you're putting your intentions into these plasma spheres that are on your timeline, they roll into each other. They create more and more from each other, and they keep rolling into each other and getting more momentum. So keep fueling it. It's not like a one-off, one and done thing. You got to keep doing it. And by giving it a visual, it goes into the subconscious. So you won't be doing things that counteract and pulling it out of the 5D grid, which is also plasma. So it's quantum. It'll react to whatever you're going through. All right, let me know how you get on, and if you have any questions or want to connect further, send me a message.